Mirchi FM is #1 in Singapore.
और किसके सुनिए यार, हमारा एक सच्चा साथी है मिर्ची एफएम लंबासा के।
I love Mirchi FM. It's so hot.
देखे में लाल लाल, खाए में हाय हाय। टंगी टंगी तवा में मिर्ची FM is hot.
Here at Rugby Town, Singatoka, love listening to Mirchi FM. Mirchi FM, it's hot.
Mirchi FM is #1 in Suva. It's hot.
हम वहीं के लिए लंबासा में रहता है, तो क्या बताइए हम मिर्ची एफएम सुनता है।
मिर्ची FM बहुत जुलूम जुलूम।
Mirchi FM, it's hot.
In this bulletin, Military Commander Vorenge Bainimarama attends his last church service with soldiers in Nandi. Shoes Fiji Limited given a list of issues to comply with by the Labour Ministry. And Fiji Roads Authority lays the foundation for improving roads and easing traffic congestion. Good evening and welcome to FBC News. I'm Amrita Priyadarshini. The Prime Minister Vorenge Bainimarama has today revealed that many senior military officers did not support his December 2006 clean-up campaign. Bainimarama addressed his men and women at the quarterly church service for military officers in the Western Division this morning. Christopher Chand reports these are the last few days of Bainimarama's term as the head of the military.
This is part of Bainimarama's farewell from the Fiji military forces. Today he was in Nandi and is expected to be in Lambasa for a similar church service next Sunday. And although his successor is yet to be announced, he reminded officers why the military did what it did almost 8 years ago.
I had asked all my officers one by one before taking over government whether I had their support. A large majority said yes, and a large majority said no. For those who said no, they left the military. Now they are going to be out there and will see for themselves how much we have achieved in the past years for the betterment of our country. That conversation continues from now onwards. Those who speak out against us, the public, our relatives, politicians, for us we have to ensure that we maintain the current track we are on now.
He also spoke about the failed mutiny attempt by CRW officers at the Queen Elizabeth Barracks in Nambua 14 years ago.
I now take my mind back to all that had happened in November 2nd, 2000, when a group forcefully tried to take over the camp, killing some of our officers. I've always been saying that we are lucky that 5 of them died in the process, and it was rather unfortunate that 3 of us lost their lives that day. This is why I keep reminding you that we should not forget the sacrifice those 3 soldiers did for us on that day. I don't care about the rest. There have been talks about human rights regarding this. I don't want to know about that. The only painful thing is that 3 of our soldiers died that day, while some others could have lost their lives as well because of all that happened in 2000. We should uphold the Vanua, ensure the protection of the women and children, the disabled and the poor.
The commander also defended the force against criticism that was leveled following a leaked YouTube video that allegedly showed a prison escapee being tortured. He says public safety is paramount.
We will continuously be questioned and scrutinized by the international community. We will be up against politicians, even from our relatives. We have to work to ensure that the lives of everyone in this country is protected. I am not saying that we have to be out on the roads every time to do this. What I'm trying to say is that we have to ensure that all that transpired in 2000, there should be no repetition of the prison break at Namboro, which frightened a lot of people. If there are talks of similar uprising, we have to nip in the bud as soon as possible to ensure that our loved ones can walk on the streets without fear, which is not going to happen now. This is our job. There are people saying that it is the job of the police to ensure the safety of the public. That is true. But for us, we all know that from 2000, we have to stand and ensure that the journey is calm.
Bainimarama has served in the military for 39 years, having joined the Navy in 1975. In 1999, he became commander of the RFMF. At the end of this month, he will step down to begin preparations for his political career, contesting the 2014 general elections. Christopher Chand, FBC News.
Health Minister Dr. Neil Sharma has ordered an investigation into the circumstances surrounding the death of an 18-year-old youth at the CWM hospital on Wednesday. This comes after the family of the youth were told by the hospital staff that their son was doing well, but died 3 hours later. Dr. Sharma has ordered hospital staff to provide a full explanation of what happened. He has promised the family of the deceased that the matter will be thoroughly dealt with and offered his condolences for their loss. The owners of Shoes Fiji Limited have been given a list of issues to comply with from tomorrow by the Labour Ministry. FBC News first highlighted that the company had allegedly breached several labour laws regarding the treatment of its workers. The company is alleged to have been mistreating its workers and not paying them overtime and not supplying them with safety gear. Labour Minister Chone Usamate says all manufacturing companies have to comply with the OHS standards.
Companies violate and our workers go in. We try to give them improvement notices for them to improve. But if they continue, then there are fines and all kinds of things in our legislation that we need to be watching. So first of all, we'll try to teach them to make sure that they comply with our rules and our regulations. If they continue to, to blatantly disregard these things, then the axe has to fall.
Usamate adds that he expects to be briefed by his officers tomorrow. The ministers talk more about Shoes Fiji on For the Record, which airs straight after news.
Gonga elambasa Mbula FM number 2 na sere.
Ando talita kana borong na Mbula FM number 2 na sere su.
Kau buat itu gerak-geraki au rebot juga ni stima au ando talita kana borong na Mbula.
Kalau bina Fiji Mbula FM number 2 esenga toka.
Mbula bina era roga Mbula FM number 2 tikoga.
Mbula FM number 2 na sere.
Welcome back to FBC News. After an extensive 6-month study on Suva roads, the Fiji Roads Authority will come up with ways of improving road infrastructure and easing traffic. Sanal Sivan reports Fijians will also be encouraged to take up means of transport that reduce congestion on the roads.
Traffic jams may soon be a thing of the past. Once the Fiji Roads Authority is done with the planning for the capital city, they'll start work on the rest of Fiji. FRA Strategy Planning Manager Christine Serene says they're committed to ensuring that their latest strategy isn't left on the shelf, collecting dust.
This is a study. It's a 6-month study. We have a separate work program for Suva, for the CBD, but also for all over Fiji that will deliver the work program that we've got for 2014. This study looks not at just the here and now. This study looks at 20 years ahead.
A lot of the time Fijians using buses are late to work or school because they are held up in traffic jams. Serene says they're taking this on board as well.
One of the ideas would be if buses have priority, how that would affect the bus network and how that would affect the journey time and travel time. It's one element of the study that we want to look into more detail.
The Fiji Roads Authority has identified relevant stakeholders representing all sections of Fiji society to have their say in the new strategy.
What's very important for FRA is that this study is not another study, that it's a practical document that gives us good options, that identify the issues and gives us good options to work on further. And it's very important that we collaborate across government organizations and that we get the views from all the stakeholders that are important.
This research is being conducted by overseas consultants and technical experts hired by the Fiji Roads Authority. Chanel Shivan, FBC News.
Fiji's resident envoy to the United Arab Emirates, Robin Naya, recently presented his credentials to the President of the Republic of Lebanon, Mikel Suleiman. Naya presented his credentials as Fiji's first ambassador to the Republic and will serve as the non-resident ambassador from Abu Dhabi in the UAE. Naya says that despite Fiji's historic presence in the areas of peacekeeping, more attention will be given to areas that can strengthen relations between Fiji and the Middle East. He also acknowledged Lebanon's pivotal role in regional stability and economic development. The Ministry of Social Welfare is organizing a workshop that will enable non-government organizations to get funding for income-generating projects. This has been confirmed by Minister Dr. Chico Leveni during the Fiji Women's Federation Advisory Committee meeting held in Suva yesterday. On the 19th, the workshop will take them through the procedures to apply for women's livelihood projects. The groups have to identify suitable projects such as poultry, baking, beekeeping, handicrafts, vegetable farming, and even tailoring. Dr. Leveni says they want to help those who are challenged with poverty in squatter settlements, hard homes, and are unemployed. $5,000 will be given to successful NGOs. Coming up in sports, injuries in the Fiji Sevens team worry coach Ben Ryan. And FRU says a bright future lies ahead for rugby in Fiji.
Today FM is #1 here in Singapore.
We like Today FM in Lambasa. It rocks!
My favorite station in Nandi is Today FM.
Listening to Today FM. Today FM rocks in Suva.
Lotoka City love today's kid music.
I love Today FM because they play all my songs.
We love Today FM at Vuniva Lambasa. Yeah, it rocks!
I love Today FM because it rocks.
Today's hit music on Today FM.
Welcome to FBC Sports. The Vodafone Fiji Sevens team jetted back into the country a few hours ago with a $10,000 bonus awaiting them. This reward was for reaching the semi-finals of the Wellington Sevens tournament. On hand to greet the team were Vodafone Chief Executive Officer Aslam Khan and Fiji Airways reps. The team arrived without coach Ben Ryan, who will remain in New Zealand for another week. Vodafone Fiji Sevens coach Ben Ryan will monitor the injury status of his side after the Wellington tournament in New Zealand. The injury list includes Osea Kolinisau, Donasio Ratumbuli, William Mata, Chona Tuitonga and Leo Nekasau. Ryan says there are some minor niggling injuries among the players, which he and his management will be keeping an eye on.
With all injuries, you take 24 hours to have a look, and we're hopeful, but we were down to 9 for that last game, and a couple will certainly be touch and go for the next two tournaments.
New Zealand won the Cup final, beating South Africa 21-0. The win means the Kiwis lead the World Series points table with 99 points, and South Africa is second on 97. Fiji is third on 73 and more or less out of contention of winning the series. The Fiji Rugby Union Board has made significant gains in securing financial stability. The special general meeting in Nadi yesterday allowed rugby unions to get a glimpse of the strategies put in place to move the sport forward. Chalendau Zakadaka reports.
The FRU board has made big strides to improving its financial status since they took up their posts a year ago. The aim was always to leave Rugby House in a better state than when they found it.
We have moved the institution from 600,000 plus deficit to now a small positive of 40,000, but we are waiting the audits to reconfirm the figures, which we will present at the annual general meeting. So that was a plan and a target, and we are working towards that target.
The FRU also revealed they are currently in negotiations with Fiji Water and Coca-Cola Amatil Fiji to add to the multi-million-dollar sponsorship deal by the Vodafone-led consortium.
As long as those sponsorships are not in direct competition with the main sponsor that we have and along with the consortium, then we are free to negotiate those. So I think the ones that we currently are talking to now, we are free to do that.
The FRU plans to focus their new financial standing around the welfare of players and officials and a financially stable organization. Chalendo Dakadak, FBC Sports.
Suva maintains pole position in the Fiji Sun Skipper Tuna National Football League after defeating Lautoka 2-0 at Churchill Park in Lautoka. Suva's goals were scored by Ravinesh Singh and Samuel Ndrundru to condemn Lautoka to their third defeat in as many weeks. Meanwhile, in other matches played today, Ba handed Nandronga their second loss of the season with a 3-0 win, while the junior men in black side thrashed Nandronga Youth 5-2. Cloudy conditions and showers was experienced over the eastern and interior of the larger islands today. Elsewhere, fine weather apart from isolated afternoon or evening showers prevailed. A trough of low pressure lies slow moving over Tuvalu and extends over Tokelau and northern Cooks. Meanwhile, an east to southeast wind flow prevails over much of the southwest Pacific. Most centers were in the low 30s today, no readings from Lautoka and Mombasa. Tomorrow's forecast is for fine conditions in the west and Lambasa tomorrow morning. Suva and Lambasa will see some rain. Conditions will turn cloudy with possible showers in the afternoon. The further outlook is for some showers over the interior and eastern parts of the larger islands. Elsewhere, afternoon or evening showers are expected. Isolated afternoon thunderstorms are expected as well. A strong wind warning remains in force for Kandavu and Vatuira passages, Koro Sea, southwest Vitilevu and southern Lao waters. Southeast winds 20 to 25 knots and rough seas. Our main points again. Military commander attends his last church service with soldiers at the military barracks in Nandi, telling them to stay committed to the ambitions of the RFMF. Shoes Fiji Limited given a list of issues to comply with by the Labour Ministry. And Fiji Roads Authority lays the foundation for improving roads and easing traffic congestion. On to our poll question now. And we ask, should smoke detectors be compulsory in all houses? Log on to our FBC website www.fbc.com.fj to answer. You can send us newsworthy pictures and videos on email citizenseyes@fbc.com.fj or share it with us via our Facebook page FBC News. Or if you're on Twitter, follow and tweet us your stories at FBC News or simply hashtag FBC News. That's FBC News this weekend. Jackie and her team will join you from tomorrow evening. I'll be back again next weekend. Until then, have a safe and productive week. Good night.
Gold FM is #1 here in Sigatoka.
Gold FM is our favorite radio station here in Lautoka.
Gold FM is #1 in Nel.
I love listening to Gold FM in Ba.
We love listening to Gold FM, only the classic hits here in Suva.
Hear about Patukola, you immediately think of gold. I'm Josephine Sabi and I love hearing Gold FM.
Gold FM, only the classic hits.